everyone. Welcome to Cooking Dairy Free and Alpha Golf. Nancy. Tonight's live, Friday Night Live, we are making chocolates, homemade chocolates. We can't call them the name, but peanut butter cups. We love those. So normally, we used to use Enjoy Life. So that used to be the only chocolate that was there. So, hi chat, hi TV watchers, and hi replay watchers. Thank y'all for being here. But during the 2020, several different companies came out with dairy-free chocolate. And Nestle is one of them. So I was like, yes. So Nestle, Ghirardelli, Enjoy Life. There's a few others. Myers has their own brand, and so does Kroger. But they're still on the pricey side, which I don't understand why they have to be that way, but that's what it is. So we're going to make our own chocolate candy tonight for the Christmas season. So, and while this is mixing up, we'll go over a lot of the candy molds, that called candy molds. You can use them for candy. You can do any different things. Now I have a small little mini crock pot that we use. So I'll plug this up. And we start off with a half a bag of the chocolate in there. Because you can add coconut oil in there if you want to, or you can use olive oil. So that's what they look like. I'll put half a bag in there, and we'll go from there. And of course, you're going to have some chocolate chips. I'm going to be baking and cooking without tasting. Oh, so good. All right. Now, we used to have the little baby spoons that had the cover on the bottom of them. I don't know what happened to them. Man, I forgot about trying those. Well, not in this drawer. So, and I really thought they were in that drawer that I was looking at, but we have a little spatula here. And I don't know, it was always in the spoon drawer. Well, I'll just have to look for it later. Alrighty. So, these are the molds. These aren't all the molds, but these are most of the molds that we have. Alright, so we have these. Then we made hot cocoa bombs in those. Hot chocolate bombs. We have hearts. You do hearts any time of the year, especially Valentine's Day. We have the solid ones. That's good to make, like if you want to make a Mr. Good bar, your own version of a Mr. Good bar. You could do that. We have musical notes. We have, the keys that goes along with the hearts. This is so fun, especially at Valentine's Day. Let me get this down. The oil. Then we have owls. We have pumpkins. This I have made. This is Christmas trees. I have made cake Christmas trees in these. And that is a very difficult thing to bake because you have to have it like this. So have it down. So definitely use a sheet pan and then a couple other things to make sure it doesn't spill. Let's see here. I'm gonna sit back down. Alrighty. So we have Lego molds. These are unicorns, dinosaurs. I guess they're dinosaurs. Yeah, dinosaurs. We have ice cream. Cupcakes, not ice. Well, we do have ice cream. These are cupcakes. And these are like, when you think of chocolate bars and everything, the individuals, when you just break it off. We have another heart mold. We have gamer stuff, game controller and level up and different things like that. Hey, Rebecca. We have spoons. Now, with the spoons we've taken candy canes and crushed them up and put them in the mold, put them in the oven to let it melt and everything, and then you take it out and let it harden. You have a candy cane spoon. So I'm going to try to do that this year. We have teddy bears. We've got snails and butterflies. What little boys made of. Y'all remember that poem? What a girl's made of. What a little girl's made of. Sugar and spice and everything nice. And what a little boy's made of. What a little boy's made of. Snips and snails and puppy dog tails. Well, that's a long time ago. All right, and this is little robots. And then we have the ice cream ones. So we have a lot of different ones that we've done. Now, like the little ones like this, they're harder to put stuff in the middle of it. But the hearts, we've done peanut butters in it. We've done a cream filling in it. So I'll start be doing that also, making those. And I'll get some candy canes so we can do these spoons. Because that's good in hot chocolate. Oh my goodness, it's so good. I think that's all can go in there. No, I want that one out just in case. Now, my favorite candy bar is a Mr. Good bar. Always has been. Even though there's, like Payday. I like Paydays. A Zero. Whatchamacallits. Those are good too. My favorite's always been a Mr. Good bar. I don't know what it is about it. I like Snickers. I like Three Musketeers. That would be fun to do, to try to make a Three Musketeers bar. Ooh, yeah. That'd be cool. Alright, so let me stick these back over on the other side. Oh. I said I had more. I know I had more. Let's see. It's starting to melt. Alright. This is like digital stuff, like hearts and everything. The mustaches. We have another, usually we have 2 of each. So here's the second one of the robots. The second one of the spoons. Of course, I need these to make peanut butter cups. Here are the crosses. And the other peanut butter cup. Oh. All right. Let's get the peanut butter. All right. I need the bowl. Or a bowl. Now with the peanut butter, we always make more than we need. But you can do a half a cup, you can do a whole cup, and you add powdered sugar to it so the peanut butter is not too thick. So I'm not going to do that much of peanut butter tonight. Let me think. I'm going to do it this way. I'm missing a spoon. Oh, no, there it is. Like, where did the spoon go? Where's the big spoon? So, roughly, that's like 1/4 of a cup of peanut butter. All right, now I gotta get the powdered sugar out. And people move things around. Mainly me. Cornstarch, I will use this one. Now you can use regular powdered sugar. I also have the Swerve powdered sugar. And I just add a little bit at a time till I get the consistency that I want. Usually that's a teaspoon. And you just mix it up. All right. So the actual recipe for this that we have is in storage. And I've told my son and daughter-in-law, don't go try digging for it because I know what totes it's in. It might be in the bottom of the tote. Who knows? The stuff got all kind of things. So we are just going to mix this. And you want it smooth enough that if you put it in a piping bag, which would be a good idea to do. But that's kind of like the consistency you want. I mean, I probably could add some more. And then also taste it so you know to the taste of how much you would like. That's alright. That's good like that. But sometimes it can get a little bit too sweet. So we'll stir our chocolate. I always have to remember, even right here it gets hot. I don't remember that. Well, until I go touch it. And I am going to add a little bit of, it just helps with the consistency, because sometimes this will harden. Chocolate, after it melts, it hardens really fast. So if you're trying to work with it for a long time, and you're trying to, the oil helps with not being too fast. All right, you still got some time on that. All right. So make me some tea. Yes, that's still nice and hot. I'm going to use these up. Get rid of them. So what we'll do, we'll start off with doing the peanut butter cup molds, because you got to put the chocolate in here, put it in the freezer, let that get hard, put the peanut butter in, put that in the freezer, let that get hard, then put the top over top of it and stick that in the freezer. I'm not going to do the crosses tonight. I probably will do some of these, and we'll just go and see how much that will make. But it's been, we can also do, we have enough, I'm quite sure we have enough. We'll dip some pretzels and do chocolate covered pretzels. It tastes good. So I don't know about where y'all are at, but here it is. Now, a low tonight was not supposed to be this. It's 19, feels like 13. And the low, it says 6. A low was only supposed to be like 18, 19 degrees. But, I don't know, maybe that was yesterday morning or this morning. Because this morning we woke up, it was like 11 degrees outside. I took a picture of it so I can make sure. And I was like, what? Am I looking at that right? So yeah, that was our low. That's what it was when I woke up this morning. What time was this taken? Because it was like, it had the time on it. It was 6:16 this morning. I was like, oh, Rebecca, you don't have to retract anything. So it's definitely cold. I was like, oh, it's time to, bake some things. Get your oven going and heat up the house so it won't be cold. Oh, yeah, this one don't have the weather. All right. This is starting to get nice and melted. You could do it the microwave. I just love using this little thing right here. Also, when you're not using to melt chocolate, you can fill this up with water and put some crushed cranberries in, fresh cranberries, and peel an orange and add some cloves in there, and it will make that house smell so good. All right. So, like I said, we used to have those little spoons. I don't know where they are. So, I'm going to move this over here so I can bring y'all down so y'all can see what I'm doing. Make sure I'm in the camera. And you just put it in there to fill it up and pull it up on the sides. So the little spoons were excellent for this. Alright, and I gotta find something else. I mean, I have a spoon. This is not. Let's see how this does. I'm giggling at myself because I was like, I'm prepared. I'm prepared. I'm not that prepared. And then I think of the movie Hoodwink and the goat. I was prepared. Oh, come on. All right. Maybe use the back of the spoon, and that will help instead. There we go. If y'all hear something like somebody jumping around, that's just Anastasia. Alright, so I'm trying to get at least one mold done. So I can get this in the fridge. At least get a few of them in here done so I can show y'all. I mean, the freezer. So while that's setting, we can do other ones. Alrighty. Alright, so I'm going to put that in the freezer so we can get the other ones going. Sweet. Alright. We got a flat place for that. So I'm going to work on this one. Let's see. Okay. Alright. And try not to get any chocolate on my sleeves. I get it on my hand. Oh, goodness. Alright. There we go. And that's all you do. Alrighty. Now, I'll go get some more chocolate from the store and do other things. When we've done the hot chocolate bombs, I'll show y'all how to do those. There's so many things, especially on Pinterest. I have saved. I was like, oh yeah, I can substitute that, this, that, and the other. And it's like, I gotta make a plan. And I forgot last time I was at the store to get the fruit cake things that I know we haven't had. Nobody makes fruit cake anymore, but the dried fruit or whatever. I probably could use other things, but it's the festive time of the year, and you want to stick with tradition. Uh, my grandmother, my mom's mom, used to make the best fruit cake. Oh my goodness. People say they didn't like fruit cake, but oh my, hers was the best. It wasn't dry, it was moist, but it sure took a lot of ingredients. It was almost like a pound cake type thing, but she made the best. Trying to make sure the bottom is covered, because when you flip these out, the bottom will be the top. Alrighty. Oh, the back of the spoon is working. I'm telling you, those little spoons really worked well. I have to ask my daughter-in-law what she do with them. And it might be in that other drawer. Now, I do know Reese's peanut butter cups have come out with a dairy-free version a few years ago. Actually, it was probably during 2020 that they realized, oh, there are people who, I don't know if they realized that. My son goes, it was probably somebody's kid ended up having a food allergy, and they were like, oh, we need to make dairy-free chocolate for people. I don't know. That was his theory. Yeah, that's a good theory, though. Anybody else is coming in the chat? Hello. I'm not looking at chat right now. Something I miss, and I didn't make it at Thanksgiving. I'm going to try and make it for Christmas. Is it pecan pie? You gotta say pecan or pecans? Pecan pie. All right, this one's almost done. We'll stick this one in. And then we can fill in the other one. Alrighty. We'll set that there. We'll stick this in the freezer. Like I said, it doesn't take long for the chocolate to harden up. So now that I've used that, I'm going to get a spoon because, and this is why you want to get your peanut butter a little bit more smoother than it is. And I know that sounds weird, but this is the reason why. Alright. And then it's just getting the ratio in there correctly. Alright, don't do that. Stop. Because if you don't have enough in at the first time, while you're doing this, just like when you bake a cake, you sit there and keep tapping until it becomes even. And then that's when you know if you've got too much peanut butter or not enough peanut butter. And then you can just wipe it out. Add it to the other ones. And the good thing about baking like this or making candy, you always get to taste test everything. Alright, so then this is when you would take and put the top on. And same thing. No, don't drop on the counter. We know every single drop. And tap these too. Spread it out so it's covered. Playing with your food is so much fun. Alright, there you go. And we'll stick these in. See, these are already ready. Alright. Let me see here. Hey Jane Doe, how you doing? So we're going to add our peanut butter into these. Like, and just drop it in there. Because like we did with the other ones, you're going to tap it to see how full it is. And that way if you know you need more or less. I was talking to Rebecca the other day. I forgot to look at these in the store, but they're called apple rings. They're in a jar. They're apples, and they're in this, I guess, they're not, it's like apple juice, but they're red. It's a red kind of juice. I'm like, oh man, I gotta put that on a list to see if I can find those. Because my mom would, for like, or even for our dinners or whatever, But afterwards, especially on Christmas, we would have people come over. So like, so my mom's sister, her got older. They had Thanksgiving there. They would come over to our house for dessert. And that was at Christmas, but at Thanksgiving, we would go over to her house for dessert. And that's where I remember having the Bisquick, sausage cheese balls that Bisquick came out with. Oh my goodness. Those were the best. They used to have to keep an eye on me. I would go sneak more, but she always made more anyway. So you just tap till it gets even. And then yes, if you need some more in there, or if you want to leave it like that and have more chocolate. And then my mom she made a coconut cake, a coconut pie, pecan pie. We had chocolate pie, chocolate fudge, peanut butter fudge. Oh my goodness. Pumpkin pie, sweet potato pie. I'm trying to think. Then, the Watergate salad stuff, the Jello and all that came out. So we had all that too. Right. Don't want to waste chocolate, but I need to get the end of that spoon. Alright, so add our chocolate to the top. Alright, let's see. I'm trying to think of as far as desserts go. And we had the ambrosia stuff, her cranberry, Jello. She made a pea salad. It was made with the small, I guess, English peas, the sheep peg corn. It was a vinegar type mix. And then let's see what pimentos was in there. Pearl onions. I think the pearl onions. I'm trying to think what else was in there. And a lot of recipes she got from customers that come in and give her recipes and stuff. Let's see here. All right. Now these will probably take a little bit longer to set. I didn't put these in there. I missed a step. I should put the peanut butter in there first with that hardening, and then the chocolate, which is normally what I do. Oh well, we can do it this way. And if it's over, it's over, fool. It's alright. Alright, there we go. Let's stick this in the freezer. I keep saying fridge. Freezer. Alright. So, I don't think I did that the same way with these. But these, then you just pull it out. We'll just test one. There you go. Your homemade chocolate peanut butter cups. And it's not completely set. So, but, yeah, I gotta stick that back in there. Alright, I'll let those sit for a little bit. And then we're going to come and we're going to fill this up. And if you have, let's see. La 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 la. I need the heart ones too. But, alright, I'll explain this before I start. Alrighty, so let me set this up. Hey Misha, how you doing? I'm in the vacuum. I broke my son's football. Oh no! I promise it was an accident, even though our teams were rivals. Okay, wink, wink. We understand. Believe me, we understand. Alrighty. So, let me get to the person's page I need to get to. Alrighty. I'll find it this way. Be faster. And then I don't know if he has a YouTube channel. I don't think he does. But he's on Instagram. Misha would know because I'm send stuff to her all the time. His name is Dr. Robert Singleton, the second MD anesthesiologist physician. He's in Chicago. So he is a Christian doctor. He's a Black man, Christian doctor. How about that? So him and his kids, the other day, on stage, and I saw this. All right. So it's called a nativity story mix. So it's a snack mix. It's cereal squares for the hay, marshmallows around angels around Jesus, hugs, Mary holding Jesus, the three musketeers are the three wise men, pretzels are the manger, peanut butter animal crackers, the animals in the stable. I need to get those. Honey roasted peanuts for the stars. Gold, frankincense, and myrrh, and starburst for the North Star. A simple reminder to my kids of what Christmas is really about, the birth of our Savior. So there are still some ingredients that I need to get that I forgot. I got to write down. But the reason I'm making the chocolate is because Hugs, the chocolate candy, Hugs, we can't have. So that's why, and the Three Musketeers. So that's kind of like the peanut butter cups. I don't have away yet to make Three Musketeers. I'm working on that. So I still need to get, because I got the pretzels, we got the marshmallows, the pretzel sticks, the animal crackers, and I got the honey roasted peanuts and the Starburst. So I need to go. I need to get those. But that's part of the reason why I'm doing the chocolate is because Anastasia goes, "Could we do that?" And I'm like, "Yes, we can." So there's a few more ingredients I need to get because Starburst we can have, and also and animal crackers. So I'm like, whoop, we got to put that on the grocery list. So, but I do have the peanuts. So what I'm going to do, because peanuts go in there, I am going to make my own chocolate bar with peanuts in it. So like I said, we probably will have, I got to do the hearts. So that could be the hugs. And what I like about this oh my goodness, this is nice because it keeps the chocolate melted. And if it starts to get, where it's not melted like you need it, you just keep stirring it. Alright. So yeah, well, that's what she wants to do. So we got the cereal, I got the peanuts, and it didn't have the Starburst and the animal crackers on my grocery list. So I need to put those down. Alright. See that part right there? Goes on the side. I have to put some more chocolate chips in here. And what I'm going to do is once we get it made, I'm going to make a reel on Instagram thanking him for showing that. Alright. Let's see what needs what. Alrighty. There's a few more that need to be filled. Alright. So let me stick those in there. Let's add some more chocolate chips into here. And then go in that stuff bag. And we're going to let that melt. And we'll stir that while that's melting we can talk. Alrighty. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And then they're going, can we do that? I'm like, yeah, we can do that. Definitely. And to me, that's just a good way to teach kids and adults about Christmas and the reason for Christmas and all. So while we're sitting here, let me look some stuff up because I've got to let that stuff melt. So they even gives a story about the candy cane. About all right. So the red is the blood of that Jesus shed. Your hairy thing. Oh, thank you so much. I get to style my hair now. You know, I just love it because, yes, I feel younger with my hair colored. I know the Bible says, and Lord says, silver is a crown of glory, but it does not make me feel like I have a crown of glory on with all that silver. And I've already discussed that with the Lord. So it's the candy cane. The red is for the blood that Jesus shed on the cross for us. The white is for white as snow. The you turn it upside down. We know it's J for Jesus. Turn it right side up. It's a hook, the shepherd's hook. So Jesus is our shepherd, and you put two of them together, and make a heart. That's the heart of Jesus for us. So I thought that was really interesting of the candy cane. Now, let's see if I can find it. Well, let's put it this way. It's on my Instagram, but I don't think what I'm looking at has what I want. Let's see here. I don't think this is it either. And it's on my Facebook, but that just be way too much to try to look through. Alrighty. Alright, this is what I want. Okay. Santa Claus. Santa Claus, also known as Saint Nicholas or Kris Kringle, has a long history steeped in Christmas traditions. Today, he is thought of mainly as a jolly man in red who brings toys to good girls and boys on Christmas Eve night. But his story stretches all the way back to the 3rd century when the real Saint Nicholas walked the earth and became a patron saint of children. Now, this is found in history.com. So I will put this in the link. I'll put the link in the chat in a minute. Find out more about the history of Santa Claus from his earliest origins to shopping mall Santas of today, and discover how two New Yorkers, Clement Clark Moore and Thomas Nast, were major influences of the Santa Claus millions of children wait for each Christmas. So the legend of Santa Claus can be traced back hundreds of years to a monk named Saint Nicholas. It is believed Nicholas was born sometime around AD 280 in Patara Petra near Myra, Myra, in modern-day Turkey. Much admired for his piety and kindness, Saint Nicholas became the subject of many legends. It is said that he gave away all his inherited wealth and traveled the countryside helping the poor and sick. One of the best-known Saint Nicholas stories is the time he saved three poor sisters from being sold into slavery or prostitution by their father by providing them with a dowry so they could marry. Over the course of many years, Nicholas' popularity spread, and he became known as the protector of children and sailors. His feast day is celebrated on the anniversary of his death, December 6th. This was traditionally considered a lucky day to make large purchases or to get married. That's cool. By the Renaissance, St. Nicholas was the most popular saint in Europe, even after the Protestant Reformation, when the veneration of saints began to discourage St. Nicholas. St. Nicholas maintained a positive reputation, especially in Holland. So St. Nicholas made his first inroads into American popular culture towards the end of the 18th century. In December of 1773 and again in 1774, a New York newspaper reported that the groups of Dutch families had gathered to honor the anniversary of his death. The name Santa Claus involved around Nick's Dutch name, Sinterklaas, a shortened form of Saint Nicholas, Dutch, Sint Nicholas for Dutch for Saint Nicholas. And it's Sint Nikolaas. In 1804, New York Historical Society member John Pintard distributed woodcuts of St. Nicholas at a society's annual meeting. The background of the engraving contains now familiar Santa images, including stockings filled with toys and fruit hung over a fireplace. In 1809, Washington Irving helped to popularize the Santa Claus stories when he referred to St. Nicholas as the patron saint of New York in his book, The History of New York. As his prominence grew, Santa Claus was described as everything from a rascal with a blue three-cornered hat, red waistcoat, and yellow stockings to a man wearing a broad-brimmed hat and a huge pair of Flemish trunk hose. So then it goes on to about shopping mall Santas and everything. And it says 1841, thousands of children visit the Philadelphia shop to see a life-size Santa Claus model. So, it's pretty interesting and everything. And I thought it was really cool because people go, oh, that was not real. He's not real. That's just make-believe. St. Nicholas was real. And that's how all that came about. Alrighty. So let me get here. I gotta switch. Make sure my volume's down. With some of these things, I have no idea why the ads are like that. And there we go. And then we'll put Santa in the chat so I can get to this. There we go. Maybe, I'll put some snowflakes so I can get, and I'll pin it at the top. That way people can get to it. So we still have snow on the ground, I don't think it'll be probably, maybe next week. We'll have it melted some. All right, this is nice and melted. Yes. All right. So again, the same way. Let me just fill this in. Now this does better for this to get all up in the corners. And just even it out. So this is fun, And if you get, Rice Krispie cereal, you can make your own Rice Krispie, whatchamacallits. Now, I'll have to look up what we use to make the cream filling, like you would if you did like a York peppermint patty type thing. We've done those with the hearts. Before we do that, let's stick this in the freezer so that it can get hard. All right. I think these are actually ready. These were the first ones that we did. All right. So I popped that one out. And it wasn't. So yeah, it just took a little bit longer for the peanut butter to set. So there you go. There you have your homemade peanut butter cup. Taste test time. Oh, it's good. It does. It melts just in your mouth. But I can't make that claim that it doesn't melt on your hand, because it does melt on your hand. So you just take them and put them in a little Ziploc bag and stick them back in the freezer and keep them in the freezer until you're ready to serve them or ready to use them for something else. Because that chocolate, once, like this little pieces here, like this little piece that's on there. When in it, you get, because your hand, the heat between your hands, it does melt. And don't waste chocolate. So, yeah. So we use the Nestle. Nestle. There's Ghirardelli, Enjoy Life. I know our Kroger has their version, and Myers, and just depends. That bag was almost $7 for that, where they used to be like between $4 and $5. So, when you need to make stuff for yourself and everything, it's like, ah, but like for just the holidays, I want to do stuff for the holidays. Anastasia wants us to do the I want to say manger type, the nativity mix, snack mix, and everything. So that's one of the reasons why I got them. Now I'll probably get some throughout the year. See if it goes on sale, maybe a coupon or two or something other like that. But throughout the year and everything, and just keep a stack in the closet, and then that way, like for the different holidays, like Valentine's Day, New Year's, Valentine's, we got St. Patrick's Day. I guess you could use the crosses for St. Patty's Day. Now, you can get white chocolate and dye it, but I haven't seen the white chocolate in the store. And here's the funny thing. You go to the store to look for stuff that you see online, and it's not in the store. But if you order it online, they can bring it to you. You can have it delivered home. I'm like, why don't you just put it on the shelves in the store so people can buy it? But we've come to a conclusion that the reason why that happens is because they got certain items there for delivery only and not for purchase over in the aisles. That's what I think. Alrighty, so let's check these. And see, it's already set. So now we're going to add our peanuts. Like that. And then comes the fun part, besides eating the peanuts. And stir your chocolate. Just covering them up. Alright. That's when you can spread them out evenly. Alright. Oh, there's another one. Another thing that we had at the holidays is my dad's family. His mom and dad came over from Hungary and Czechoslovakia, which is now divided into Czech and Slovakia. Don't know, but anyway, they had those recipes for all those desserts. Oh my goodness. They called them angel wings, or they're called wedding something or another now. But the strudels, oh my goodness. My aunt, she could get that dough so stretched out, so thin, and make that strudel. She made apple strudel. She had poppy seed strudel. Oh my goodness. Alrighty. So we're going to put those in. and let those sit. Oh. So, like I said, the hearts are done. Just pull it apart, pop them out. Alrighty. And then, like I said, you just put them in a Ziploc bag. Put them in there. Hey, Joy and Donnie. Alrighty. And like I said, I like using that little crock pot to melt the chocolate. You can sit there and melt it in the microwave. There's something about it's melted that way. They don't taste. Chocolate just don't taste right. So these are done. Just pop them out. Don't leave them in your hand too long because they start to melt. Or you can pop them out like this. Whoops. And this is nice. They have a nice gloss shine on them. Everything. Now we did, like I said, I have to look up the filling again that we used, or ask my daughter-in-law if she still has that recipe. But we put like strawberry cream in these like on Valentine's Day. That was pretty cool. See, these ones pop right on out. I don't know if y'all remember doing this growing up. We actually popped popcorn and strung popcorn and hung it on the tree one year. And the ironic thing, that cat didn't even mess with it. He didn't like it. So he left the so and these are shiny on this side too. So there's your homemade peanut butter cups. Alrighty. And then you just stick them back in the freezer. Just a little bit longer on those other ones. I want y'all to see what they look like. My hands. I've got chocolate all over my hands. And I still have chocolate left. So we're gonna, let's see here. I'm trying to think what other things. Well, let's do the crosses. Let's see if I have enough for the crosses. At least for a couple. Alrighty. We got one. Okay, I guess up at the top, we're close to the top. I should have enough for about 3 or 4. Oh, hey. I'm gonna say that thing is hot. All right. I'll do 3 glosses. Because now with this, I would suggest a piece of parchment paper. Because you're going to have something to put these pretzels on. So, I have on there like this. I'm trying to get the chocolate off the spatula. Because you can take your pretzel, cut it like that, lay it down. So I've got my chocolate on the spoon. Coat your pretzel and flip it over. Yes, this is hot, so you gotta be careful when you do it. Because one thing I was thinking about doing, so I still got some peanut butter over here. Take and, spread the peanut butter out. And take your chocolate and make a chocolate peanut butter pretzel. Ah! And in that way, you can just let. Because when this is like this, it's so tempting to take that chocolate and lick that chocolate. I'm going to tell you, you're going to burn yourself. You burn your roof of your mouth. You burn your tongue. You burn your fingers. Let's try another peanut butter one. Let's see how that's going to work. Alrighty. like that. And yes, I'm concentrating. I'm trying not to burn my fingers anymore. Oh, there's some more chocolate in there. Oh, let's see here. There we go. In order to get this chocolate out, unplug that. Because once you unplug this, it goes fast. That chocolate will set really fast. I'm just going to add what's left in here into this peanut butter. We'll see what happens. All right. As much of that off as I can. Oh wow, it sounds like it's raining or something outside, but we're not calling for any bad weather. Or any weather except being cold. Alright. So I'm talking, that's setting up already. So we're going to see if this is enough chocolate to make a peanut butter chocolate ball type thing. Just let that sit there. There may not be enough chocolate in there to get it to set, but we'll see. And I'm standing close to the counter, like if it falls, I'm going to catch it. You know, like you sit there and if something falls, you stand real close to catch it. I was thinking to myself, that's not a smart idea. You're going to get on your clothes. All right, there we go. All right. Oh, hot chocolate is awesome. Well, I'm going to get those candy canes and we'll crush those up and make those candy cane spoons and everything. Then we'll make hot chocolate and I'll show you what happens to the spoon when we put it in the hot chocolate. I'm trying to see if there's one. So these don't take on the set. This one's, all right, it's pretty much set. So there we go. There's your chocolate covered pretzel. Oh, so good. So it takes a little bit long for those to set. And let's see if the oh yes, 2 of them are done. This one's still, but here is my version of a peanut butter chocolate bar. It could sit a little bit longer, but I'm sorry. Yeah, I need to sit a little bit longer. There you go. Oh, that's gonna be so good. So there we go. That's how we make chocolates for our holiday. Messy but fun. I got chocolate everywhere. Boiled it under the blanket now. Definitely. Oh, you know, it's cold at the parade. We saw that. It was cold. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's cold here. It was. Let's see here. 21 feels like 16. So 25 feels like 17 now. So how does that work? I have no idea. But at first they said we didn't have a wind. But that's why I kept thinking I heard something. And yeah, we've got we'll have a little clipper come through, putting that little stuff of snow on the ground. Did you pull out anything and try? I put a little bit of olive oil. Some people use coconut. I just put a little bit of this in there when I melted the first batch, the first half of the bag. So that's why it takes a little bit longer to set. If I didn't, it would already. This would already be done. I just do that because it makes it easier to pour, and it kind of gives it the chocolate, but makes it go a little bit longer, more to have to do stuff with. I know what I'm trying to say is this isn't coming out like that. Now this says 23 feels like 15. Our wind is 6 miles per hour. So yeah, sometimes we put coconut, sometimes I use the olive oil just to help it melt also a little bit smooth. Yeah, there we go. Smoother. However, I want to say it. Because I got to cook something and I'm sitting there saying how I would say to do it. That's like my cookbook. And I was going back looking at it and I'm just like, would people understand that this means this to me? To me, plain English is better. I know there's word jargon in the cooking world and everything. And I'm just like, when you look at the cooking shows and they say, do this, this, and this, and I'll be looking at it like, why don't you just say what you're doing? Like, I'm trying to think of something. I guess like with, so we'll just go with the garlic. If you mince the garlic, why don't you just say, take the back of the knife, just crush it and chop it up? You know, they come up with a fancy word, mincing the garlic. I'm like, it's just chopping it up and cutting it up. So there was just like different things like that, you know. I'm just like, then I have to go look up the word and find out what it actually means or something or another. And I'm like, we're not professional chefs and everything. We didn't go to Cordon Bleu or any other chef school to learn those fancy words. So that's why I look at my cookbook and I'm like, because I have a mini one made. I've just got to redo it. And I was looking at it, I'm like, I'm just going to put it the way I would say to do it. And I'm just going to leave it like that. It's plain English to me. I want to set the peanut butter chocolate, not peanut butter, the peanut chocolate bar. Yeah, I guess we'll call it that. Don't want no copyright thing. So there are people who out there who have copycat recipes, and there is a website that's a copycat recipes of all kinds of foods and the restaurant foods and everything. So you can't say there ain't out there. Are you doing a marathon live stream tomorrow on your other channel? Yes, I am. Working towards our treasure home 4K hours. So the hours will keep going. But I think for the rest of the month, y'all be surprised. Though, I might do a marathon on this one too. It depends on how I feel. But because I've been thinking about doing marathon lives on here on the cooking one and our treasure home. So I'll be doing on both channels just because it's the holiday. Yeah, copycat recipes. They can't say you can't do this, and like people come up with recipes like the main food things we know now. And if that's the case, then your main, all right, so we'll take cremette noodles. Well, Kroger has their own brand of noodles. How else do you make noodles? You make noodles with flour and water or milk or whatever. And there's no copyright stuff on that. Now, granted, probably like KFC and their herbs and spices and everything, but someone figured that out and put that on the copycat recipe website and everything. Oh, thank you, Jane Doe. I was gonna ask you or Rebecca to sit there and put that there. And then there's so many, like Chick-fil-A. They soak their chicken in pickle juice and then they bread it, and that's why it tastes the way it does. So, but it's good. To me, I like it. Everybody has their own version, maybe a different space here and there or whatever and everything. And, you make it your own also. If some people don't like onions, well, you can leave the onions out and you can add something else in. The same thing, like leeks, if, people don't like that, use the food that you like. If you don't like broccoli, use something else. Some people don't like spinach, or maybe like mustard greens instead. So always, just try things here and there, and you can always substitute. And that's one thing I try on here to show y'all is that not only are we cooking dairy free and alpha-gal, because somewhere or another along the line, I'm explaining in a minute, we find substitutes to how to do things. That's like dairy-free ricotta cheese. Yes, it's out there, but it's $15 down for just a small little tub. And it's like, even when Anastasia was before 2020 and all that stuff, it was expensive then. That little tub that's $15 was $8 in 2019. So, we learned to, change things up. Look at the store brands, dairy-free cheese and everything, and, see what they have. So on that, simple truth with this Kroger's. Well, Kroger has, if you go on Kroger's website, scroll all the way down to the bottom, it'll show you all the stores that they own. Dillon's is one of them that's in Missouri. I don't know if it's in Kansas or not. But Dillon's is a Kroger store. So, you can go see if they have that there. Walmart Yes, you have to look and make sure it says dairy free. Walmart has this brand. This is their brand, Better Goods. It's a dairy free cream cheese. This I like a lot better than there was one that we used to get. It was a yellow top. I can't remember the exact name of it now. Yes, yeah, Dillon's. Dillon's is a Kroger. Kroger brought them out. So I like it. The Kroger brand, the Simple Truth, I like that. The Myers is good. Kite Hill is expensive. I think Dairy may have had their own brand. Philadelphia Cream Cheese came out with theirs. There's Via Life. There's Everything Vegan. Baby Bell does have a plant-based Baby Bell cheese. Those are really tangy. So, in Colorado, Kroger is called King Scoopers. Yep. I know, that's funny. Yeah, Dillon's is in like the middle of I know it's a lot in Missouri. So more middle of the country, Midwest. I see, and I see. Alrighty. I want the best. I just want. Oh my goodness! I can, you can see it, the product and everything, but you can't think of the name. I mean, we can't have goat cheese, so that's people go. What about goat cheese? Nope, we cannot have goat cheese because Anastasia cannot have that. See, Myers has theirs. All right. No, I'll think of it. I know. So like great value. Um. Oh, okay. It's the franchise of okay. Um. Great value. That's Walmart's brand. That's that Better Goods. Tofuti. That's it. So I knew once saw it. Um. That for a long time was the only thing that we saw that we could get because and it was only at Whole Foods, and it was like just a trip. I mean, we go all right. So our grocery shopping was Whole Foods because they had the cheeses. All right, nobody else had the cheeses. Then we Whole Foods, and then we go to Sam's Club, and then yeah, Whole Foods is expensive. And then we go to Myers, you go to Kroger, and you go to Walmart because not everybody had everything that we need. So even now, they go grocery shopping. Well, Anastasia's in school, but in 2019, I was like, kind of like the beginning of 2019 or so. Um, it was just like, even though with the van, it was just man, by the time we would leave like 9 o'clock in the morning and not be back home till 6 o'clock at night. And one week I was just, because they were working Monday through Friday, it'd be a Saturday. I'm like, you know what? Y'all can go. Here's a list. And they looked at me. I'm like, it's just too much for me. My mobility back then really went down a lot. And I was just like, I can't walk, I can't go to 4 or 5 stores and walk all that. We don't have a Safeway in Ohio. But Safeway used to be in Virginia, so I know about Safeway. When Dixie used to be in Virginia, Safeway. The Food Lion's still there. But there's a lot of stores that just aren't in Virginia anymore that still are around. Because I was like, we was somewhere going through one state and everything. We saw Safeway. I'm like, a Safeway? I'm like, did I say Safeway? They go, yeah. They go, my boys go, what's Safeway? I said, the grocery store. Because they never saw one, because they went all out of business in Virginia before I even got married. So I was like, oh my goodness, that was hilarious. Now, when we lived in South Carolina, we went to Piggly Wiggly. That was, one of the stores there. I think there was a Food Lion there. But the small town we lived in, of course, there's Walmarts, but, it was Piggly Wiggly. And it was like, that was a cool store. Missouri, there's also Publix I like that store also. But, there's a Safeway in Knoxville. That's so cool. So, so going that late and everything, it was just like, it was a lot, because even now, if I go to the store or whatever, I am still leaning on that cart for support, because it's my back and my hips, but a lot of my back, with the L5 and S1 being fused together, so there's no disc there anymore. That's your lower part of your back, and it's like I have to lean over the cart and stand up a little bit so I don't get too stiff, and then I lean over the cart again. And I was just like, I can't. So I can use the electric carts, but to me, to me, I've been to Walmart a couple of times trying to see about getting out. And I can go faster knowing if I have a list to get to where I need to get what I need to get, and then get out. A lot faster if I sit in one of those carts and everything, which I probably should be using, but I'm stubborn that way. That's like a doctor in Missouri told me. So that was in 2010, 2011. He goes, 10 years from now, you'll be in a wheelchair the rest of your life. I said, no, it won't. Watch me. I was like, I was in a wheelchair for about a year. And then when Jessica and her dad came to visit, he goes, no, you're walking. So he got me walking. And I could walk and everything, but to walk distance. So even now, from here to the sink, some days I am holding on to the counter for dear life, because my hip goes, well, I'm not working today. So I still use the canes. So like I've been sitting in this chair like I have been. So, I mean, if I walk, like on my dad's day. Talking about my dad being in the Army and one of the marches that they did, and he was like, he goes, you went leg like that, and then you went down like this, and I feel like I'm doing one of those marches, But one day, it's like 1 minute I can get up and I can walk fine, hold on like this, and the next minute I can just step and my hip will go down like that, and I'm like, okie dokie. So sometimes I'll have the cane with me, and I'm like, I walked okay going to the bathroom, and the next time I get up to go to the bathroom, I'm messing the floor. So it's like, oh my goodness. There's a Piggly Wiggly in Georgia and North Carolina. Nice. Those are pretty cool stores. I like going to those. Aldi everywhere, I think. And then Save a Lot, they're here also. But growing up, we had, it's called U Crops, that store. There were Safeway and Winn-Dixie, and I think it was another one. And then Food Lion came around, I was in my late teens. Oh, thank you, Joy. I got this free from Temu. We're playing one of those games. And here's the sleeves. I put the sleeves up so I can get chocolate on it. But yeah, I got this, so I want this free on Temu. So, you know, I know, Piglet. That's so funny, but I like that name. And then Food Lion came around, I think in the late 80s, because I think Food Lion was like really in North Carolina and everything. Because I remember when we used to go to North Carolina, that was the grocery store we went to. And then it ended up, start coming up the coast and everything. Yeah, AP and Giant. Oh my goodness. Those were the ones. It was a giant. I loved going to that grocery store. It's not Giant Eagle, but it was called Giant. I know what you're talking about. A&P, we had those, and Giant. Because every time we walked into the front, all right, so you got to picture this. All right, so Giant grocery store. The doors were open. But when you walked in, there's this rush of heat. And sometimes, wherever it was, if it was in the wintertime, it was heat, or if it was in the summer. But if y'all think of Marilyn Monroe, and she's on that vent in her dress, you had to hold on to your skirt or whatever. And because when you walked in, it was going to blow your dress or your skirt up. But I thought that was the best store ever. I love that stuff. Those fans and everything. That was so cool. John had the best toilet paper. Yep. I stock up when I got home. Oh, they still, see, we don't have that. Giant went out of business in Virginia. Oh my goodness. In my teens. I think I was in my middle teens, 15, 16 or so. It went out of business. Just like Woolco and Woolworths and oh, that's so cool. Yes, those heat fans. I love those things. McCoy's. My grandma worked at McCoy's. Then we had Woolworths and Woolco, and then as like the other stores start coming in, those closed up. But we had it was a Nature Food Center, but there was another Nature food store and everything that my cousin, they went to all the time. And so one day I was with my aunt, and I don't know, it was a Saturday. I don't remember why I was over at their house. It may be during the week. I don't know. But they had to go there, and I went with them and everything. I was like, oh, this store is so cool. I liked all that stuff. It was McCoy Brothers, though. Yeah, I remember that. I just turned the heater up, but it's like it's breaking over me. I know, it's cold. We had the little heater that it's a rotating heater, oscillating heater. It's a stand one. I turned it on earlier. It was just to get the chill out because it was about 3:00 or so, but it was like, it's cold down here because the doors, I mean, they close and everything, but still, that it's missing the rubber stuff, whatever it is. But I turned that on so I could just get the chill out of the air down here and everything. I said, but then my daughter-in-law made biscuits with their chili tonight, so the oven helped heat up down here, which is pretty cool. Went to pray tonight, and I know, that's everybody bundled up. Oh my goodness, that was so much fun. It was a lot of fun. You had a lot of people watching. That was pretty cool. And y'all went to y'all. Yeah, it was cold. Joy, their parade was cold, but cold. Y'all have snow, so it made it even colder. I don't know if they did a parade here or not, because we don't go to them. Let's see here. Especially if it's on Saturday, because my son works on the weekends. I almost zipped up the little boy's coat beside me. I was tempted. I probably would have done it. I would have probably turned to his parents or something. Do you mind if I zip up his coat? I worked with kids. Oh my goodness, yeah. Maybe it was a good thing you didn't, so you wouldn't get sick or anything. Well, I worked in daycare for years. That was one of my first jobs, was working at daycare at my school and everything. And then I worked at the church daycare, and then in children's church, playing the piano for children's church and everything. So I'm used to being around kids, and when I see, that's just the way I am. Zip up your coat, put your hat on, put the scarf on, da 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 da. So Thursday, Anastasia went to see her doctor, and the updates there is using the organic Horizon milk. She did fine and everything, so now her dose is 2 millimeters. So what they're going to do is, stay at that dose for a month, which actually works out pretty well, because it's not too fast, and it's not dragging too slow. Her doctor's been on vacation twice, once in the summer and then in October. I think it was October. No, it was November. So, Anastasia, I think this is, the way they're doing it is really working out. That crossed my mind. Believe it. We had a little boy next to us. I ran into the road several times during the parade. And then one of the family last year, a little boy ran out in the road in front of a big truck. Thank God the truck stopped. Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. I know, especially those big trucks, I remember that. And I remember saying that's on the live stream. I do remember that. And, someone ran out and grabbed them and everything. But, sometimes people don't see things, and these little kids, they'll just start out, and I just like, oh my goodness. Yeah, we haven't been to a parade. I was in a parade once, a long time ago. I was in 7th grade. 7th grade. Yeah, 7th grade. And, because that was my brother's senior year. We were in the Christmas parade. So his classmates and all, some of them dressed up as clowns. I don't like clowns, but then I knew who they were. And then we were on, it was a trailer and everything, and we decorated it, and we were singing Christmas carols. We were in the choir. I was in the choir. So the choir was sitting on that, kind of like a hayride type thing, but being pulled by a truck, and we sung Christmas songs. My little boy was so tiny in front of that truck. I know. I know. I saw the mother get up and grab him a couple of times, and he kept trying to get away from her. That's tonight's live stream. And it's like, come on, kid. These people sometimes won't see you because they're busy doing other things and all. And I have stopped completely doing my allergy shots because they won't. I really don't think they were doing any good. I think they were doing more harm than good. That's why I have not lost any more weight because of those shots, because I emailed them, and the only thing they say it was dilutant, and they wouldn't tell me what the dilutant was, and it could be so many possibilities. And I've got to call my insurance to make sure they build my insurance. But because since I have not had ground beef, that's the ground beef, I have not had for a month, and I have not had that allergy shot for a month. So my arm, let's see, let's turn this down, has gotten a whole lot better. Now it is nighttime and it's raised, but this is really dry. But this is starting to fade right back into the same skin color like it's supposed to be and everything. So I think there was a mixture of that. It's something about ground beef. I don't know what's in it or whatever. That I have that and pork, any pork products. I did have steak last week. We had steak. Week before last. I didn't have a reaction to it. And so my daughter-in-law goes, "It's beef." I was like, it's a different part of the cow than the ground beef. I said, "Your ground beef may not all be just beef." I said, whereas the steak, it's the part of the cow that makes steak. So they had chili last night and tonight. I did not eat any. She asked me again tonight, "Do you want it?" It's like, no, I don't want it. It was very tempting. It smells so good. My son is an excellent cook, and it smells so good. But I was just like, is it worth you having itching? And so they tried. They've got a vegan. It was a vegetarian pot sticker, and they made wonton soup with it and everything. And I was like, I tasted it. I was like, this is not vegetable in here. And so I tried to explain to them, it might be that the wrong batch got into the bag or whatever. That was actually a spicy pork wonton. So I was like, it's okay. And because it wasn't vegetables in it. It was like little chopped up of pork in it. And I was like, I was just trying to figure out, was it all mushed together because of the soy that was in there? So it made it look differently or whatever. And, sometimes people don't want to listen, but I was like, that's all right. Maybe next time when they pick it up, it'd be different. So I had that, and I was itching, and I knew exactly what I had when I ate it and everything. It tasted different to me, and it was spicy. But he already made the soup part spicy because they used the spicy ramen broth. So I was like, okay, maybe it's just me. And then within 30 minutes after eating it, I'm doing this, and I'm doing this. And I'm like, I was like, okay, I know, I can't have that. I was like, so they try really hard to find stuff that we all can have and everything, or I can have with them and everything. So it's not like they don't try. That's why it takes so long in the grocery store to look at ingredients. Looking at each ingredient, you'd be surprised what has milk in it. It was like, really? Seems like they use milk for preservatives for everything. And I'm just like, bread. I remember growing up, my grandmother did not use milk to make bread. It was water. The same thing with mashed potatoes. I had a friend years ago. We were talking, and she was like, I said, "What you making?" She goes, "Mashed potatoes." I said, "Oh, okay." We were talking about what you eat. She goes, "Milk." I'm like, "Milk?" I said, her name was Michelle. I'm like, "Why are you putting milk in mashed potatoes?" "Well, that's what you're supposed to." You're like, "No, you don't." I always use water. So I was just like, oh, goodness. But, we're having food allergies. You'd be surprised what they stuff is made. They always suggest anyway when you go grocery shopping to shop the outer aisles first before you go in between the aisles. Or don't buy anything. But there are some things in between those aisles that you need to get, like your canned food or your spices, your sugars, or your flour. So you can make your own bread. So while we're sitting here, these have gotten to where they're just about done. Just about. All right. So we're going to see about I know the crosses are done. One of these. Let's see, there's this cross. And I like it because it makes the design and there's this cross. And they're cool. Oh, I love it. And then, so I have two of these. Alrighty. So, we can put that in the bag. Woo! Alright, let's see these. This is, yes. It comes up a lot better. It's broke. So there's that one. You just pull it like this so it releases. And it pops right on out. And then you have your own Mr. Goodbar. Oh, they look awesome. I think all those peanuts in there. Or something else if you wanted to do. You can take your peanuts and chop them up a little bit more. And that way you have more peanuts into the bar instead of, unless you have whole peanuts. I was trying to take just a bite. But yeah, you can still see the peanuts. They're all in there. That's so cool. Like, let me see. No. This did not set. I will have to put those into the freezer. No, but these did really well. Now this one's got the one with the peanut butter on it. Well, I was going to be able to pick that up. So this one's got the peanut butter. So the chocolate's set. Oh, that turned out pretty good. That's not bad. Trying to make sure I don't get no chocolate or peanut butter on this shirt. Alright, there we go. So, yeah, it's a messy process, but it's a good process. We have fun doing it and everything. And then, yeah, it's all in your fingers and on your fingers and oh my goodness. I make sure it's not all on my elbows and, well, not my elbows, but arms and everything. So if I go to lean on something, because I got chocolate on the door handle on the fridge. And all. But yeah, so next Friday night, I'm going to try to sit there and get some phyllo dough. Because I haven't tried to make phyllo dough myself. But maybe that's something we could try. I can try on the channel also. Let's see if we can make some phyllo dough without buying it in the store. That's what we'll do next week. We'll attempt to make phyllo dough. Because I had made some homemade blueberry jam, jelly, whichever way it is supposed to be, and got the phyllo dough from the store and made my own bear claw. And I love those things, but like I said, it has milk in it. So even before I got off of alpha-gal with Anastasia, we couldn't have it. You know, I love those bear claws that you get in the gas station. I was just like, oh man, we found a way to make my own. But you know, then there's the process of, is the phyllo dough in the store made with milk? We've had it before. I don't think, and maybe it says processed in the same facility as milk, eggs, blah 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 blah. But I haven't had a reaction with that. So, but you know, it's fun to learn new things. We'll sit there and we'll see if we can make our own phyllo dough. The only thing with the crescent rolls last week is that I just need to roll it out the dough a little bit more thinner than it was. And they were good. I did the there's a came out tonight. Oh, last night. It was a little while ago. It already came out. I taste tested them. They were really good. I just need to roll it out just a little bit thinner. You know, not as thick, but that's a preference whether you want them thinner or if you want them thick. Now, the Bisquick ones aren't flaky like the crescent ones from Pillsbury because it's a different dough, but it was still good. Anastasia loved them. And then I got a video out. I say tonight. It was a couple hours ago. I cooked the turkey legs. I cooked turnip mash instead of potato mash. I call it turnip mash. And cooking that. And then I don't have the turkey legs coming out of the oven on that video. I have it doing another video that's coming out. And then I taste test the turkey legs also. So there was 3 of them. I had 2, Anastasia had 1. So I told her I'll get some more so she can have 2 and I'll have 1. And also, we like the turkey legs. Since we didn't have turkey, we do the chicken. I went and got the turkey legs. And then I will be making the sausage cheese balls. Bisquick has their recipe. And I'm telling you, I remember having those when I was 6 years old at Thanksgiving at my aunt's house. And I don't remember if it was Bisquick that she used, or she used a flour mix or whatever. But I mean, that was 50 years ago. And I don't remember having those things. I would go back and sneak more. They were the best. And I'm just like, they are good. Um, then I'll go ahead and tell y'all because the video is coming out Monday. Let me get the book. The Mexican mocha balls, I did make a video making those, so that's coming out next week. So a bunch of fun stuff. And I was like, sitting there talking to Rebecca the other day, we were talking about recipes and everything, and I was like, if I really wanted to not push myself, but in reality, I really could. I could have a video loaded every day of the week on the cooking on the cooking channel. I'm just like that, but it's like people just understand that editing, it takes a lot of time too. So if I do a 10-minute video to edit, to put all those little things in there, to put music to it, to the description, you name it, from the beginning to end, from making the video to putting this together to uploading to putting the descriptions, everything that goes into it, a 10-minute video takes probably about 15 to 20 minutes to totally edit. So my 30-minute videos take about 45 minutes. Depends, about that long, 45 minutes to edit. And that's putting it together, uploading, doing the description, hashtags, you name it, stuff that needs to be done. So there's a lot of stuff and behind the scenes that people don't see. And I thought about doing videos about that so people could understand, that's a lot that goes into, so maybe one day I can hire me an editor or something other like that. I think that'd be pretty cool. Make the video and someone else do all the editing. But yeah, I would like to sit down with somebody and talk about how to write a business plan for a restaurant. I think that'd be pretty cool because I still want to have a restaurant one day. I'm like, I'm not old. I always say I'm not old. I'll never be old. And I still like to have a restaurant one day because there's not a lot of options sometimes with people who have food allergies and everything. The editors are expensive. I know. Probably one thing that would help me a whole lot, and I'm not saying anything, I'm just talking, is a computer, because this is just the Acer Chromebook, and Chromebooks are not the best ever. But this one is I got this in 2018, so it's old. But the other things come first and everything besides a computer. Now, I had someone who was supposed to help me with the Dell, but that didn't work out. So, but that's all right. I don't know. I know what's missing on that Dell to have it work. It's just not going to a computer store or a computer repair store and paying the money for it to be fixed, whereas you could take that money and buy a new one, So that's like, but there's stuff on there that needs to come off of it. And if I want to do that, and you know, I don't know, maybe I can find someone to help me get it fixed. So, but yeah, editing takes a while to do, and plus of all the other things I do during the day, everything. I was like, oh my goodness. So I block time out. And then I do it on days. When I make videos on the weekends, Mondays are my days to do editing, uploading and everything else, schedule the videos out, putting the descriptions in and everything. That's my thing to do on Monday. And then Monday Night Lives on Our Treasure Home. So it's like, you have to sit there and really make the time to have it done. It's because I like putting the recipes in my videos, because I know I'm the same way. I've gone to channels and, this is how you make this and everything. You scroll down in the description and the recipe's not there. And it's like, so you either go back and you pause and write down. And I'm just like, if you just put it in the description, that would help so much better. Or they have it, in the video in certain places, like on the screen. So you got pause it, and then write the recipe down, and then you watch it, the rest of it and everything. And I'm like, that's what I did on Our Treasure Home, and I do it here. I put the recipe in the description, and always, if some things are optional, then it's optional. Even if I use ground turkey, you can use ground beef. If you don't like chicken or you want to use something else, that's why, I'm always like, switch it up. Excuse me. I don't like fish, but there's our recipes that you can use fish instead of chicken. I was just like, we had shrimp, and I was like, I was good the first day having that gumbo. The second day, nope. I was like, I don't know what it was. I was like, I just couldn't eat it. So, when I told my son, when I had the pacemaker put in, I don't think you may see that scar. It's right here. It's gone down so much, but I couldn't eat shrimp for 6 months. I just couldn't stomach it. And he goes, well, that's funny. And I'm like, no, it's probably from the anesthesia they gave me. He goes, the anesthesia they gave you? I got to laughing. I said, yeah, that. But I knew people who had surgery, and from that, they can't eat certain foods until maybe 6 months, almost a year later, they can have it again. So that's like with the shrimp. It's been a year since it'll be a year. Yeah, I've had it a year. February of 2026 will be 2 years. So I was like, it's been that long already. Oh my goodness. To me, it's just like it happened the other day. I got the pacemaker. So, but getting there again, it's been 2.5 years. Like I said, one day I'm fine eating the shrimp. The next day, my stomach was like, nope. You're good. You've had your share of it. You don't need it no more. So, and if it smells like fish, then I'm done. I don't know what it is about, if it smells fishy or whatever. And I know they say fish doesn't have a smell. I'm like, that's what you say. I ain't no better. I was like, yeah, okay, fish does have a smell. And they go, if it has a smell, that means it's not good. And I'm like, I've seen fresh fish before. It has a smell. Did you know when you got The tick bite, it was around July, August of 2017. Actually, July 2017 is when I had the tick bite. We had gone to the park to cook out and everything. Been to the park, that park, plenty of times. Always checked before we left and everything. Didn't see anything, nothing. The next day we found it. The next day after. I think it was the next day and everything. We found one. We got it off right away. August we were eating. We would have pork one night, and then we had chicken, and then beef. And it start with my hands. It would clear up. So we only had pork chops once a week, but everything was either chicken or beef. It would clear up, and then it would flare up again. Oh, the following day. Oh, yeah. And so I went to my doctor I see now and everything. He said it was eczema. I'm just like, this is not eczema. This is not. So we cut out pork way back then. And so it was only just like steak, or like we make the chili or spaghetti, hamburgers, roast, a steak, and everything. And it wasn't until here. So I was going back looking at I've been running the playlist on that Treasure Home, and I was like, oh my goodness, it's been that long. So it was August of 2021. Okay, so this is how the timeline I remember, because May of 2019 was basically the last time Anastasia and I had gone out before things shut down. And I was wearing gloves, I'm gonna say like the latex gloves, but because you could wear gloves and the mask, and that was optional, but I was wearing gloves because of my hands were getting that way. They were cracking right through here and through my fingers, right through here and everything. Now, I have a picture, but it's not on that SD card. It's on the other one. So I'll load up the picture on this channel, what my hands look like. And I thought I was losing my fingers. I had my hands in ace bandages wrapped up. When I saw a video with my hands wrapped up in ace bandages, I was like, how long ago was that? That was in 2020? That was 5 years ago. And so, they were working Monday through Friday and Saturday, and we had, I think it was roast one night, and then we were going to have hamburgers or whichever way. And I'm standing here in the kitchen. Ugh, that chair just sits low. I'm standing here, and I'm like, because the roast is there, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, is that it? And I'm telling you, till this day, I can still feel the tap on my shoulder and the whisper in my ear. And the Lord's sitting there going, there's your answer. That's the problem. And I'm just like, I turn and look. I'm like, there's nobody there. I said, Lord, that has to be you. Just nothing else. It had to be the Lord. And I'll start researching. And it was just ironic because right before then, all the stuff about the Daniel fast was coming up in my feeds and everything. And as soon as that happened, I'm like, I understand. I understand what you're telling me to do, was do the Daniel fast. And, oh my goodness. And I'm telling you, make sure it just be like you and me sitting in your truck and me tapping your shoulder and we're leaning over and going, that's the problem right there. Just as plain as day as that. And, I said, I understand why the Daniel fast kept coming up in my feed. So, and her channel is called The Biblical Nutritionist. And so I researched and I started looking at what to do with the Daniel fast. And so that was like August. It was really weird because it was August of 2021. Because 2020, it was, I mean, that was the whole time. I mean, it probably wasn't the last time, actually. Say we went to Royal King that day. And then I think within the next day or something, we went to Costco. And, because it's like around that time where Anastasia and I were the last few times that her and I ever was out grocery shopping. And because we had like Royal King, we had Costco, and then I know it was Whole Foods and everything. So the lady at Costco, she saw me with my hands wrapped up, and she goes, she looked at me. She goes, "You poor thing." I said, "Oh no, this has nothing to do with what's going on. This is a medical condition." She goes, "Oh my goodness." So I kind of, really didn't say what was going on, but it was a medical condition and everything. She goes, "Did you burn your hands?" I'm like, "No, it's not burning my hands." She goes, "Well, I'll pray for you." I said, "I appreciate that." So, and then we were in Costco, no, Whole Foods, and we were wiping down the cart. And the lady goes, "Oh, I don't blame you on that, wiping down the cart." I'm like, "You see that little girl?" She goes, "Yeah." So she was born with a dairy allergy. We were doing this way before this other stuff ever started. She goes, "Oh my goodness." So I was like, "Yeah, she even touches a residue of milk, she breaks out on hives, and we have to give her a Benadryl." She goes, "Oh, that's not good." I'm like, "I know, but we've already been wiping down the carts for years." So that's when I sit there, and the next groceries was like, I was like, "I'm not having meat, no meat for 30 days. It was just vegetables. I use beans, protein and different things and everything." And within 30 days, my hands cleared up. And I'm just like, "Oh my goodness, thank you, Lord." So then I start researching what could cause that. And that's when the alpha-gal came up. And Amy, oh my goodness, what is her name? I want to say, I have her book. I'll get the name and put it in the description and everything. And she's in Virginia, and she's a herbalist and everything. And I emailed her and everything, talked to her, and she goes, "Yep." She goes, "My husband has the same thing." She goes, "I know exactly what you're talking about." She goes, "That's exactly what it is." So I was like, "All right." So that's when just the chicken and the turkey and everything. And when my fingers, let's see which ones. Well, they're kind of like all doing it right now. All right. So this one's kind of like healing up better. But you see that crusty? It's not crusty. It just looks like, all right, the little bumps right there and everything. It looks like little blisters that come up. Well, then when they pop, and then the skin gets all crackly. The skin gets all crackly and dry. And I'm like, the itching, the first sign is the itching. That's the first sign. So I'm gonna do a live, probably an extra live here, to sit there and start explaining more about the signs and symptoms of reaction to foods that people don't realize. And the itching is just like part of it. The itching is, I think that's more than anything else. And then, like I said, when I had those pot stickers last night, I mean, this itches now, but I know what's going on. So when this itch, these right here itch, I'm just like, "You're kidding me." And then my knees, it's just weird. It's just different parts of my body starts reacting. And then my son goes, "It's all in your head." I told Anastasia, I said, "Next time you're daddy, hey, how you doing?" "Yes, I am." Um, I told her, I said, the next time your day says it's all in my head, I said, yes, it is, because it's my brain telling me the signal is something you've eaten or something you've touched. Your body does not like. So I will tell them the next time. So it is. One of the first few things I noticed when I was eating, we have a Chinese restaurant that we like and everything. Because, back then both of them working and everything. And we had got, I got beef and broccoli or, one of the beef dishes and everything. And I had gotten through half of it. And as soon as I was eating, all of a sudden I'm like, I can't breathe. And they just looked at me and I'm just like, I can't, something's going on. I can't breathe. I had to take a Benadryl. And that's one of the things that we realized right then and there. Something wasn't right. That was right before I was standing here in the kitchen and, I looked at that roast or then those hamburgers. And I kind of wonder if that is the thing that's going on. And that's when the Lord has tapped me on the shoulder. He goes, that's your problem. That's the issue. That's the issue is what he said. And I was like, okay, dokie. And I know what to do. Now, the Daniel fast I was supposed to do back in October, it was just all messed up because, we had already planned the meetup in October. And then the following week we had an inspection and then something else happened. And I was just like, okay, this is not a good month to try to start doing the Daniel fast. So I gotta get some chapstick. Hold on. I do have plans on doing another Daniel fast. Just because I wanted to do a reset again. Like I said, this is healing up really good, even though it itches every once in a while. But I know why it's itching because of those pot stickers. And even with chapstick, y'all got to be careful because some is made with soy, some has got milk in it, and it's like, why? Why are you putting milk in the chapstick? I don't understand that. It's a wax. Why are you putting milk in a wax? And between the alpha gall, and I was talking to Anastasia the other night, how the Lord has saved me so many times. She goes, Grandma, I know you told me about your pacemaker and this. I was like, okay, yeah, I've told you that. I said, but I'm gonna tell you something because now she's older, and I was like, how many times? I know about 100 times. I probably can count, but more than that. I've been laying in bed and my signal going from my heart to my brain goes, wake up, you're not breathing. Because on the not the pacemaker, but the loop recorder that in the external heart monitors that I had, they caught it for only 3 to 4 seconds. And I was like, I wonder how much longer that's been, but we know since I was 14 that's been happening. And I be laying in the bed and wake up, you're not breathing. And I get up and I walk around, go to the bathroom or just walk around. And that's happened, 42 years at least I know of. It was probably when I was little. I just didn't know it because the doctor said it's a birth defect. So, so between that and the alpha gall, and it's like, okay, whatever, the Lord still has me here for a reason. And I know some of that reason, some of it I don't know. I know part of the reason is to share the gospel with people. And the second reason is to share about food allergies and everything. Now, when I was growing up, we ate what we was given because we had to. My parents, both my parents worked, but they had bills and everything. So, but there were times that I remember during this winter time, right here on this finger, now like it is now, it's dry and it's like really dry and flaky type thing, rough and everything. We thought it was just always the winter time. That's the only time it ever was like that. And then during the summertime, it was fine. So maybe I had something way back then and just didn't know it. And then I was like, one day after we were talking about finding out the alpha-gal and everything, and I'm like, that makes sense about this finger now. Because, we had a garden growing up and we worked out and we played in the yard and all, and everything else, and thought, it was just rough, dry skin from the stuff we did and everything. Yeah, no, it wasn't from that. It's from what I was eating. We ate what we were supposed to eat. And then, my cousin who has a food allergy, no one would talk about that. And one of the books I have looking up about food allergies, they've known them since 1908. I'm just like, why is people in the 70s and everything, in the 60s, people talk about the hippies and everything, but it was just not them. People knew about food allergies and stuff. All of a sudden in the 70s, it was a hush-hush thing. And I was like, why? Why keep it? It's not a taboo thing or anything. It was, things happen. And now we're understanding why it's happening. But, you know, tell people in your family, this person so-and-so had this, and this person so-and-so had that health issue, or, or that medical problem or whatever, because, genetics play a lot of stuff. But also tell them about the, like, her name is, oh my goodness, I want to say Annette, the biblical nutritionist. She said to her and her husband, chose to do the Daniel fast to fix his cholesterol and everything. And the doctor fought them all the way through. She goes, no. She goes, we're going to do it this way. And she goes, she lost 60 pounds doing eating differently and everything. So she goes, she knew her husband wasn't going to give up steak and different things like that. But she mills her own flour and everything. She goes, it's just so much better for you to do it that way. And yeah, she has one of those ones that's on the table thing, and she was like, those things are expensive. But I was, I have a Ninja over there, right there. I have that. I have an attachment with just the two, like you would do for milkshakes and smoothies and everything. I've used those to make rice flour, oatmeal flour, which I'll be doing those videos here on this one too. And then we have this part too. So I've got the blade in there to do for food processing, and I've got the dough hook, the whole dough thing in there. But when I make my dough, y'all see me, I sit there and still do it by hand. I just discovered the biblical nutrition about a month ago. Really neat lady. I want to start reading and watching her more of her Oh, Karma, you're going to love Annette. Oh my goodness. Yes, her courses are up there, but she gives so much information on her channel and everything. And she does have a lot of free stuff also. So, and she sat there and she did all that research herself and everything. And I saw her podcast the other day, and I did not know this because I didn't think that she is our age. She's 56 years old, in her 50s. I'm like, she doesn't look it. Not one bit. I'm just like, oh, wait a minute here. I want to look, you know. So, and then, talk about eating about your blood type also. And trying to intermingle those two together. She had an interesting line tonight about the gut and the microplastics. That she does. And it's like, how, if you've been watching the recalls about the plastic in this and plastic in that, or metal shards and that and everything, and that's because of the equipment either is breaking down and they can't. And I don't sit there and say that they go, we don't have the money to replace this equipment. That's a bunch of baloney. And then the microplastics, I have a story. We used to get try some regular chicken nuggets, and we were, because sometimes that's just a quick meal to have and everything. So this has been, Anastasia was 12, maybe 9, 10, probably 8, 9 years ago, and we were all having some and everything, and I bit into one, and I was like, what is in this? And it was a piece of plastic. And I emailed them, I think it was Tyson and everything, and I can't remember if they refunded us the money or gave us coupons or something another towards a free bag. I'm like, I just found this in your product and you were going to give me a free bag. I said, just, send me a money order or something another instead. But to me, it was a good thing I had it and not Anastasia. She was little. Now, there was one Chinese restaurant that we used to go to all the time and everything. And my son was eating his stuff, and it was, it was already mixed together and everything. And he was like, he kept chewing and chewing and chewing and could not figure out why this thing was. So he spit his food out because he knew something was wrong. And those purple rubber bands that they have on like vegetables, like your celery, or if it's like a bunch of broccoli or whatever, that was in his food. And he goes, if I had tried to swallow that, he goes, I would have probably choked to death. And I do have pictures on that. That was like 5 years ago or more. And we hadn't been back to that restaurant since. I said, well, you need to let him know what happened. He goes, He goes, I ain't going back there whatsoever. But it's like, you've got to be careful. Simple mistakes are made and everything, not really to do anything to harm people, but some things are made or mistakes. Now, a lot of the food recalls I've seen is because of the label didn't have an allergen in there, of like the peanut allergen, or if it didn't have the milk listed or the soy listed and everything. And then so I tend to wonder if it's really done on purpose. So they can say, well, this so much product has been recalled, so now we got to make it again so that they can raise the price. So, little things like that I have questions about. And everybody knows me. I have questions. I always have questions. Because before you ask, because they were like, that's where they were going to get the Christmas tree. this week. So Monday he goes, before you ask, we're going Wednesday to get the Christmas tree. I'm like, that ain't crossed my mind today. Like, I was told y'all didn't, I know when y'all were going to go get the Christmas tree. So, and don't ask. So I was like, I'm going to ask. But I do. So, things come up. Why is it made this way? What does a product have in it? I'm now with the alpha-gal and everything. With it's always asking questions. What ingredient is this? Is it made with gelatin? Is the gelatin made from the rest of the pig and cow? Because we always knew gelatin was made from the fat of the pig. Now it's made from the pig, the cow, and whatever else they want to use it. So it's like, so, and then I was like, I found the clear gelatin because I was making my own elderberry gummies and everything, and we found a way to make gummy bears and everything. That's what the molds over there that I showed earlier at the beginning of the live. The bears made gummy bears and everything ourselves. I can't have the Knox gelatin. That's just like lovely. So I used to have on my Amazon cart and Amazon wish list, not wish list, just saved. It was a vegan gelatin, and then after I did the blood work and everything, came back that I didn't have alpha-gal. I deleted it. I'm like, wonderful. So, both those allergists says, just don't eat it. I'm like, well, there's something else going on to make me still have these flare-ups. Something I'm eating, I was like, so after the first year, I might find a different allergist. I may not. I would love to find someone, homeopathic nutritionist and everything, but my insurance doesn't cover it, so we'll see. They aren't required to list every single ingredient either. You got that right. I cannot remember who shared that tidbit, but it was a reputable source. Yeah, HHR, Health and Human Resources. They have that. I saw that on YouTube and Instagram or something other. Yeah, they are not required to list every ingredient on those labels, just the main ones. And it's like, well, that means going back to making my own dough and the dough for pot stickers or pierogies is really easy. It's just I never did it. Well, now, you know what? I have a chance that I can do it now on the cooking channel because, things I want to do. I was like, I told Rebecca, I could have a video out every day or something. It is the time. It's a time factor. It's the editing factor, everything. And once I get some things done on our treasure home and everything, then I can really start knocking out videos here also because, making stuff from scratch, sometimes that's an easy way to do it. Sometimes, bread. Bread takes a while. The 10 minutes for the yeast to proof and then an hour for it to rise. And then if you need it again and everything, 30 minutes for it to rise. And then those no need recipes. Huh? And then I sit there and I tell you, you got to do this and this and let it rise. I'm like, well, that's the same thing. I don't know. And then there's stuff on Pinterest I found that I can modify for dairy-free and alpha-gal. And then I got recipes I've saved, and like you bookmark things on your computer and everything. And I was like, oh my goodness, I have got so much stuff. I was like, okay, that's why I sit there and do the videos. I make as many as I can either Saturday or Sunday. And then when my son and daughter-in-law go grocery shopping, because obviously it's quiet, but not nothing that, my son works hard and everything, and so they play video games. And I'm telling you, they're not fooling anyone. And I don't need, I know. Johnny said that the covers. So my son's been a gamer all his life, well, ever since he started playing video games. And I was a gamer too for a long time. So, he'll sit there, his mouth will just go. And that's why on Monday night, some nights I'm like, I'm apologizing if y'all hear anything. Right now, everybody's in the bed. Oh, they've been in the bed for a while. But I was like, yeah, they get into the game and everything, Anastasia. She'll go, you okay? He goes, I'm okay. I have a recipe for bread that tastes like sourdough, but it's made with Greek yogurt. Ooh, I bet you can find a dairy-free alternative for it. It's really easy. I think they do have a dairy-free Greek yogurt. It's just like you said, if y'all go to the store and y'all just look at the dairy-free compared to the regular and see the difference in price, it's like, how do people afford to buy that stuff? And it's like, and here's the thing. They'll go to the grocery store. I'll put like cream cheese or something, that, for the channel or something other. And they go to 3 ice. So they go to Myers, they go to Walmart and Kroger. So now they've got to where they can cut out Myers, which is pretty cool. But, they'll take pictures and Cindy goes, it's not there. I'm like, if it's not there, it's okay. But, but it's like, I understand people choose to eat vegan and vegetarian and everything. But sometimes I wish they would just understand there are people that have to eat that way, not to buy it all up, but to save some of it for the rest of us that have food allergies that have to eat that way. It would be really nice. Yeah, they've gotten yogurt. I've even tried to make yogurt in my Ninja Foodie. Yeah, that didn't work out. I don't know what it was, because I looked it up and it says like you still could use almond milk or coconut milk or da. Yeah, and it never worked out. Every single time I was like, forget it. Then they got these little yogurt maker things that you can buy. It makes 2 things of yogurt. That thing was like $60 to $100. I was like, y'all think people made of money sometimes. I don't know. I was like, oh my goodness. Dr. Berg is another channel that I like. Now, some things I don't agree with him all the time. Some people I do. Some, and that's just, we're all that way. There's some things in that says that I don't agree with, but she has a lot of information, and it's from a biblical standpoint. And then, and Dr. Berg, I think he is too, but he just doesn't say it because his channel has gotten hit hard, a while back and everything. But he's a chiropractor, and he tells his story about his health and everything going down and everything, and how the doctor told him there was nothing he can do about it. He goes, what? My understanding, he sold his practice. He was retired or something, but he sold all, and they bought a farm, and they live on the farm, and he does all his own stuff now and everything. And so he knows about food allergies, and he talks about that and everything, and what people are lacking in what we eat. All right, so diet is not the way they use the word diet now, and even way back when. Diet is the way you eat. That's all it really means. It's the way you eat. So they use that word diet to market different diets like Weight Watchers, South Beach diet, keto. No, I don't want to say keto, but there's all those diets say diet. All it is changing the way you eat, or it's the way you eat. So my diet doesn't consider of eating this portion or eating that portion. So that's what they had. They used market that word to get people to buy certain products. So we think of Atkins diet, Weight Watchers, South Beach diet. And it's like it's just the way you eat. So when we change the eating and everything, we lose weight. So like I said, the struggle of losing more weight, I've come to realize it was the shots, the allergy shots also, because the month of November, I fluctuated. I fluctuated between 245, 247. And I'm like, what's going on? I know what I'm doing. I'm doing it right and everything. And I still probably have some of that allergy stuff in me that needs to be flushed out. So I've been drinking a lot of water, everything, and all. I'm just like, oh my goodness. When you say you're going on a diet, you're just saying that you're changing how you're eating to accomplish a specific goal. Exactly. That's all that really is. That's all that really is. Alrighty. So, yeah, so next week, we're going to sit there and we're going to try to make our own phyllo dough. I definitely will be wearing an apron next week. Then I got to research it. I think I've got some stuff bookmarked about making your own phyllo dough. And I've never done it, so, that's the first for everything. Making my own phyllo dough, and we'll see how that works out. I really miss having those bear claws. They're so good. Mine was always blueberry. I always got a blueberry and cream cheese one. So it's like I got the cream cheese, and I've got blueberries. I got frozen blueberries. So we'll just maybe do that. That sure is all. Thank you so much, Karma. And I have enjoyed your ad event so far for this month. So thank you for doing those for us. So yeah, I got this free from Temu playing one of the games and everything. So it's gotten loose up here because I've been losing weight. I want to lose some more. I was like, oh my goodness. So, but it is 1:44 here in the morning. How about that? So I'm thinking probably the last Friday of December, I'll do a marathon on this channel. And we will just bake, we'll cook, we'll talk, and all kinds of other good stuff and everything. And then probably maybe make some more chocolate for the New Year's. And do some other molds and everything, and do that cream, the cream filling for the like peppermint cream filling. You put in the hearts or something other like that. For the morning, recording the next one tonight. Yet tonight. Awesome! That is so cool. Oh, I love it. So I'll probably so you'll see me comment. It depends on my channel. If I'm doing stuff, I'm like, because I saw you come up and I was like, I typed in there and everything. I was like, oh, this is a treasure hunt, but she'll know who it is. and everything. So, but thank y'all so much for being here. I have enjoyed it. We've had so much fun making all this nice. And I see that's gotten. I just got to put this in that bag, and we've got those. We've got my version of Mr. Good Bar. And I did this doesn't, it's not, that wasn't enough chocolate because it still does that. So, there we go. Alrighty. Now I gotta clean up. I am going to change clothes before I clean up. But y'all have a wonderful and safe night, especially in the cold. Please stay warm. Check on your pets. I know we've heard that line and everything. Check on each other, the neighbors, if you can. Check on friends and everything. Y'all just stay safe and stay warm in the cold weather. And watch the ones on on YouTube, because the regular news people don't think or up to par on what's going on. So y'all have a safe and wonderful night. Thank y'all in the chat, the TV watchers and replay watchers. We love you. God bless. Stay safe. And we'll see you next time on Cooking Dairy Free and Alpha Golf with Nancy.